Hey Hope Kids, it's Michelle. Missing you guys, and I have been thinking about you and praying for you and your parents as you navigate through week 2 of distant learning. I hope it is going well. This week in the church, it's Holy Week as we celebrate the death and resurrection of Jesus. This week I'm going to post several videos of the different stories of Jesus throughout the journey to the cross. We're going to tell the story in a fun way using the resurrection eggs. Many of you are probably familiar with this. We have used it in Sunday school and release time. If it's brand new to you, I'm excited to share this. For all of you, I'm going to encourage you, since you're at home, to make one for yourself that you can use year to year at home to tell the story with your family. So all you need is 12 plastic Easter eggs, and you don't even need an egg carton actually. You could use a bag if you don't have an egg carton around, but if you do have one of these, it's a nice place to store the 12 Easter eggs. I'm going to decorate this tomorrow with my daughter. I'm super excited. We'll write resurrection on it and maybe put some jewels on it so it looks nice so that we can store it with our Easter decorations and use it from year to year. Let's start with the very first egg. It takes us back to last Sunday, Palm Sunday. Many of you sent in pictures with the homemade palms you made. Thank you for doing that. It was a joy to see your faces as we celebrated Jesus on a donkey as he went through Jerusalem, as Gabby read to us. People were super excited to see their king. They shouted, they sang, they waved their palms in the air, and they took off their jackets and laid them on the dusty, dirty ground so that a donkey could walk over these coats, the donkey that Jesus was riding, which shows how much they loved and respected Jesus and how excited they were to see him, that they would lie their coats on the dirty ground so that a donkey, which probably didn't smell very nice and was probably dirty itself from its journey, could walk over these coats. Jesus, would you do that? Would you take your coat off? Maybe in the winter in Minnesota, what if Jesus was coming through and the ground was all wet and it was cold? Would you lie your coat down so that Jesus on a donkey could walk over? Just a fun question to think about. But yeah, so that's what the people did. So this first egg is a donkey. Now, I have a feeling not many of you, if any of you, have a donkey lying around your house to put in the first egg. So some ideas that you could put in this egg are a small horse from Polly Pockets or from Legos that might fit in an egg. Otherwise, those palms you guys made last week, you could cut out a little branch on that and put in here. Or another idea, a Barbie jacket. Maybe find a jacket to be reminded of the jackets that the people lied down for Jesus. Otherwise, if all else fails, if you have none of that at your house, that's okay. You could always draw a picture of a donkey or a palm branch, or grab an adult and jump on the computer to print that off. So, next, we have 3 coins. This one is pretty easy. You can just find 3 coins around your house and put them in an egg. And this is our second one, which reminds us of one of Jesus's friends named Judas, who betrayed Jesus. So Jesus trusted him as a friend, and Judas decided not to be a nice friend. He was kind of greedy and he wanted money. And so some soldiers who did not like Jesus and were looking to arrest Jesus paid Judas to tell them where Jesus was, and Judas took the money. For the next part of the story, I have Lily here to read to us today the story about the Last Supper, which we celebrate today on Maundy, Thursday.
Welcome to Virtual Sunday School. I'm going to be reading the Last Supper. Jesus knew that the time had come for him to leave this world. He wanted to share his last Passover meal together with his 12 closest friends. the disciples. Jesus loved his friends and wanted to show them his love in a very caring way. As the friends got ready for the meal, Jesus put water in a large bowl and knelt down on the floor. He wanted to wash the feet of each disciple. When it was Peter's turn, Peter said to Jesus, "You will never wash my feet." Jesus replied, "Peter, you don't understand what I am doing now, but you will later." Peter loved Jesus so much that he said, "Then don't just wash my feet, but my head and hands also." Peter wanted to be as close to Jesus as possible. As they were eating, Jesus sadly told his disciples, "Soon one of you will betray me. One of you will tell people who don't like me where I am so they can take me away." This upset the disciples, and each one said, "It is not me you're talking about, is it?" When Judas said this, Jesus gently replied, "Yes, Judas, you will betray me." Then Jesus picked up a loaf of bread, he blessed it, and gave some to each of his friends, saying, "Take this bread and eat it. This is my body." Then Jesus picked up a cup of wine, he gave thanks and said, "Drink this. It is my blood, which I must give up, so the sins of people may be forgiven." When the meal was over, Jesus and his friends went to a place called the Mount of Olives. Jesus said softly, "Soon you will all leave me." Peter felt bad. "Even if all the others leave you, I won't," he said. Jesus looked at his dear friend and said quietly, "Before the sun rises, you will pretend you don't know me 3 times. Peter said, "Jesus, I love you too much to ever do that to you." And all of the other disciples said the same thing. Thank you. Bye.
Thanks, Lily, for reading that story for us. So today, Maundy, Thursday, we celebrate Jesus at the Last Supper, sharing in the bread and wine communion with the disciples and also washing their feet. In the third and final egg we're going to talk about today, in mine I have a chalice. The chalice is a cup that Jesus served the wine in. Some things you might have lying around your house, back to the Barbies, if you have plates or cups that could remind you of the serving of the bread or the wine, that might fit in an egg. Otherwise, cut a small piece of sponge, a rag, or even paper towel to remind you of Jesus washing the disciples' feet. Another idea, maybe a fake grape that you might have to remind us of the wine that Jesus drank with the disciples. So those are the 3 eggs we're going to talk about today. The donkey, to be reminded about Jesus riding through Jerusalem. The coins, to remind us of the friend that betrayed Jesus. And then finally the chalice, that reminds us of the Last Supper, where Jesus shared in the bread and the wine and washed his disciples' feet. We are going to continue to talk about the story. Tomorrow, we'll talk about a tough part of Jesus' journey, as the people and the soldiers were not very nice to him, and which eventually leads to his death on the cross. I am going to encourage you all today to fill your first 3 Easter eggs with symbols from the story, and also decorate your cartons if you have one. Again, not needed, but if you have one lying around, feel free to decorate it. And if you have any other ideas of objects that you might have lying around your house that will go with the story, please share with others on Facebook underneath this video. Would love to hear different ideas to help fill these Easter eggs. If all else fails, feel free to just color a picture of that certain item. Otherwise, jump on the computer with a grown-up and print off some pictures. So I will see you tomorrow as we hear from Autumn and open up more eggs to tell the story. Have a great day, guys.